Welcome to the Spiritual and Empowerment Living with Tia podcast, a sacred place and resource for spiritually centered women who want to go from the mundane to the magical life, for overcoming fear and doubt, reconnecting with the goddess, understanding messages from spirit, and uncovering your spiritual gifts so you can finally live the life you deserve. Hello and welcome back. I am thankful that you are here. I hope that you are feeling well and that you are in the right mental headspace during these times, especially. So we are going to be talking about Bridget, Goddess Bridget, and Imbolc. I really enjoy talking about goddesses, especially the ones who I've connected with. And of course, holidays just give me something else to look forward to. So we're going to do a little dive into the goddess Bridget and Imbolc holiday. So before I get started, I want to remind you to go to the blog blog.tiamariejohnson.com. There is a chakra series going on there. Right now we are at the third eye chakra. The crown chakra will go live on the 5th, a few days from now. So after the chakra series is done, there's a in between blog post, and then we will be moving on to protection magic, and that's going to be fun. I like talking about protection magic. So again, go to blog.tiamariejohnson.com, check out that series there, and learn about your chakras, the location, the organs associated with the chakra, what it looks like when it's malfunctioning, and how you can maintain a healthy chakra, among other things. So go ahead and check it out. All right, so Goddess Bridget. This is something that's near and dear to my heart because Goddess Bridget was the first goddess who actually revealed herself to me. So we're going to talk about Goddess Bridget Day, which is today, February 2nd. I'm going to give you a little bit of background about who she is, her symbols, my experience with her, and then I'm going to pull an oracle card, probably two, so we can get a message from Bridget. And then moving on to Imbolc, also known as Candlemas, I will give you a bit of a history about that, symbols, the magic of this time, a card reading, and also what you can do during this time. This holiday is celebrated on the 1st and 2nd. And you know what? You can combine it by incorporating Bridget into this day. And as you will see, the more you read on, as I always encourage you to continue with your independent studies, you will see that how Imbolc ties into Goddess Bridget. All right, so stay tuned for the readings and all this knowledge. So if you have read my first book, you're familiar with Bridget. And her attributes. So let's dive into this. I'm actually opening my book now because I have a chart here, actually more like a matrix, and that talks about the goddesses and their symbols. So Bridget is the Celtic triple moon goddess of sacred flame. She's a protector, and she's also known as Saint Bridget. Now, a little thing about that. When some of the modern religions were just getting started, whoever they couldn't get rid of, they adopted. So, for example, Goddess Bridget became Saint Bridget. Saturnalia, right? And happens about 2 weeks before Christmas. Couldn't get rid of that festival, so boom, now Christmas is right beside Saturnalia. So you start to get it. The more reading you do, the more you'll see this. Where what's the other one? Groundhog Day is on or close to the Easter holiday. I forget which one, but Like Groundhog Day was also adopted. You know, all these things that seemingly mundane or is an actual holiday, a lot of it just got adopted as close to an old way, the olden ancient ways, okay? Or a lot of times saints were once goddesses, okay? So continue your studies and you will see these transformations done by, like I said, some of the modern religions, because this way is the old way. All right, enough of that before I go down the rabbit hole and get annoyed. All right, some of her symbols include fire, the hearth. Well, I don't think you pronounce the H, Hearth, light, candle, sunrise, cow, entwined snakes, owls, and of course the triple moon, because she's a triple moon goddess. Now, those are some of her simple symbols she's associated with the sacred flame. So why it has here triple moon goddess, she's associated with the element of fire. Make no mistake about that. She's also associated with water and air. Again, this chart is also in my first book, To Be Goddess. So if you are getting a nudge to go by the ocean, if you live by an ocean, if you're going to nudge to just go out and get fresh air, you just have to get fresh air, or maybe do some candle work, candle magic during this time. This is why Bridget is having a huge impact on us today, especially because today is her day. All right. So there's nothing wrong with connecting with Goddess Bridget. She is also associated with fertility, poetry, and the dawn. So it's no surprise that she is here during the time of spring. So we have Imbolc, then we have Austera, which is the hardcore, okay, this is spring holiday, is sort of similar to when we have the first harvest, second harvest, Samhain, right? So we have some things leading up to it, and we celebrate in the in between. All right, so there are also many ways to spell Bridget. So she's also known as the flamed hair Irish goddess of fertility, as I was saying earlier, fertility and so forth. So if you are someone who is just drawn to fiery colors, you want to dye your hair red or red and orange or whatever, you are really embodying this goddess. Okay. If you being drawn to go to Ireland, you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what it is. I just have this calling. That's one of the reasons why. You can also have a past life. In Ireland, you could have been Irish in your past life, a lot of things, but this is one of many. So don't get too concerned if you see Bridget ending with a D as opposed to like a T, an H or something like that, or excuse me, a T. There's so many ways to spell it and slightly pronounce it. I stress that because especially if you are new to learn about goddesses and names and things like that, it's easy to get discouraged and think, oh my God, am I saying this right? Is this right? Even the English I speak is centuries in the making. And if Shakespeare was alive, he would probably think I was a disgrace to the English language, right? Because it's if you look at old English, it's the words are so long. Okay. Excuse me. And now we say things that are shortened. For example, no one says pantalon, right? You say pants. Okay. No one says telephone. You say phone. Right. No one say what's up, how are you? You say sup a lot of times, especially if you're texting. Right. So keep that in mind. Don't beat yourself over it. And like, I'm going to try to pronounce this. And I've seen this before and I know what it means, but it's the Tutha D Danan. She's a member of that. She is, Bridget was the wife of High King Breeze. Hopefully I pronounced it right. And mother of Ruadan. Okay. So keep that in mind that I'm telling you this because in case you come across one of her symbols or associations, you can easily identify her. Okay, I actually hit pause on this so I can go and learn again how to pronounce is Tua de Dana, which means I just had it up here. Where did it go? People of the goddess Danu. Okay. And these are deities that have special gifts, like I was saying earlier, of magic and poetry and sightings. I'm like, what did I just say? Sorry for that pause. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, it's been crazy over here. So like art, science, poetry, magic, and I said earlier what Bridget was all about. Gosh, guys, let's take a moment to take a deep breath. Here we go. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I told you her symbols, a little brief history of who she is, the people she's associated with. Um, Again, I encourage you to learn more about Goddess Bridget, the sacred flame that she's associated with, really get to know her. I will include the links of my research in the description of this episode so you can also do the independent research and get more acquainted with Goddess Bridget. So, as far as my experience with Goddess Bridget, this happened about, man, maybe 11 or 12 years ago at this point. This is when I was really just starting out on my spiritual journey. And this was right after I was working with angels. So I was working hardcore with angels and archangels and um and then goddesses just sort of arrived. The more I read, the more I learned, and it was like, okay, goddesses are here. I cast a circle. I was with my brother, cast a circle, and I want to say that I called out to her. I feel like I did, but part of me feels like I opened up the circle to goddesses. But I think I did actually ask for her. Nevertheless, she came. Just because you ask them to come don't mean that they're going to come. So I'm standing in the circle and my eyes are closed. I want to say my arms were out. And I just felt this rush of heat. I'm telling you, it's as if someone ran up to me while holding a heater in their hand at high. Like they turned the volume all the way up. I just literally felt the rush. And it's almost like I saw the rush. Like when you see something shoot up in the air, you kind of see it, then you feel the heat of it, something like that. And yeah, it was she was just standing there just blazing and it's like if she was breathing, I would have felt her breath, but instead I felt the warmth of fire. Like it was like boom, right there on my right side, there. It was really crazy. And I just knew it was her, just fiery and all. And I am closely related to the fire element, so it made sense that she would appear to me in the fire form. Of course, like I said, she's associated with water and air, so it could have easily been a very cool and calming experience, very like airy, breezy, but nope. boom, like a ball of fire right there, just pulsating. And that's how they appear to me. It's similar with Kali. I talked about when Kali appeared. I just long story short with that, I just heard drum beats. It was thundering and all that jazz one night, and I just heard Kali's here, and that was it. Um, in a nutshell. But yeah, that was my first experience with Goddess Bridget. That heat right there, like a ball of fire, unmistakable. And if I were to take it a little bit further with my mind's eye, it's like I can just see her hair just, like Beyonce flying about, but very kind of like a slower motion, flaming hair. Very amazing. Very amazing. So that was my experience, just that rushing. And again, I was new, and some people are a little hesitant when they are new when it comes to working with goddesses or other divine beings. And what I say to that is do a lot of research. I didn't just pick up a book about goddesses and it's like, oh yeah, boom, that's what I'm doing. No, I read a lot, a lot. I'm looking at my books now. I read a lot, and I got to know myself a little bit more, and it all really felt natural, to be honest with you. And also remember that divine beings, those beings that are good, they're not going to encourage you to do something wrong or bad. That's not what's going to happen. Okay. So if that's the case, then throw some holy water and, stop it, whatever it is you're doing. Um, but yeah, you can most definitely work with goddesses. Just do your research first. So you know that energy, you know who you're dealing with. And make sure you're comfortable and make sure that you are feeling good that day, that you are healthy that day, you're feeling a little bit strong that day, a little bit confident. Okay, just make sure you are in a good mental space. All right, now let's pull a card. Let's get a message. All right, the first card I have here is Goddess Caradwin. Caradwin. Cerridwyn. I've also seen this spelled with an EN. And the message here is potential. So, Goddess Bridget, through this goddess, is explaining to us that now is the time we need to really focus on our potential. And how fitting, because fire is something that will light us up. As that saying goes, some people say, yeah, light a fire under his ass, like make a move, get out of here, get her done, right? Or at least have that passion for your potential, like live up and surpass your potential. I know that's an easy thing to say, but I'm here to tell you that as long as you are putting in the work, you're being flexible, and you're tweaking certain things as you go along, just adjusting here, adjusting there, you are not only going to reach your goals, your desires, you're going to surpass it. You're going to achieve more than you can ever imagine. So that's initially what I'm getting from this. And she is also a Celtic goddess, which is um pretty cool here. So it states here, you are a child of infinite potential. And this goddess is here to remind you of the power that resides in the womb of your heart and the chalice of your mind. Everything you need is coming together right now, as if your life's reflection were shining brightly in a golden liquid. And Caradwyn's magical transformative cauldron. And the cauldron is one of her main symbols. Okay. Imagine greatness and there will be greatness. Envision peace and there will be peace. Choose love, choose gratitude, and choose faith in the divine magic that flows through you. So, yeah, remember your magic, remember who you are. Okay, this goddess is also known for transformation magic. Okay, she transformed into a horse before, so you might see pictures of her with a horse. Um, Trust and believe in your dreams. And this is also a goddess I talked about in my first book. So I'm just going to open up the book here because I want to give you some of her symbols. All right. And in my book, I spell it with the E-N at the end. Now, it also has here Welsh. So again, you're going to see similar things here: Welsh, Celtic, Irish. You're going to see, the more you read, you're going to see those um, origins be mentioned. Again, just keep on studying. Don't think that you're doing anything wrong or anything like that. Just keep learning. All right, dark moon goddess. That just means the new moon, also associated, or also known as the dark moon. All right, goddess of the cauldron, brewer of life, excuse me, of divine wisdom, inspiration, and transformation, triple moon goddess, crone aspect. Actually, I must be thinking about another goddess because I said horse, but I don't see horse here as one of her symbols. I have here the cauldron, the white sow, triple moon, dark moon as well. I must be thinking about the goddess Rhiannon. That's probably what I'm thinking of with the horse. For some reason, I thought she transformed into the horse. It must be the other goddess. So those are some of her symbols, okay? And she's basically telling you to stir the pot, get things shaken, okay? And also, there's a is it a sapphire? There's something just above her brow, like in the third eye area. So this also is a time for you to tap into your visions more than ever. So what you're seeing with your mind's eye, trust it. All right, now next goddess we have here is Gaia, and we all know her as Mother Earth. Now with this one, it's kind of you may think a contradiction in a way because one's telling you potential, stir the cauldron, get to it. Where's your passion? And this one is saying, all right, yeah, but also be grounded. This is similar to the card I pulled for, was it the full moon? In a recent episode, I want to say it was for the full moon in Leo episode, where the cards or card I pulled in unison with the energies of the full moon represented slow down before you speed up. You can absolutely speed up, but first you need to slow down. You need to be grounded. You need to regroup, recenter, refocus. This is the great time for reflect, recenter, refocus, regroup, and then you can speed up. Okay. And that's what I'm getting from this card is to nurture yourself, be grounded, plant your roots firmly and deeply into what you desire, what you're working towards, what you believe in, what's going good for you right now. Build that strong foundation because you're going to need it later. You're going to need it a lot. You're going to really need that. That's going to be your center point when all other stuff happens and extra stuff happens. You're going to come back to your roots. Okay, that center spot. All right, you're gonna come home to mom, Gaia. All right, here's what it states in the book. Being grounded, slowing down. How about that? And remaining present in your body is the message that the Greek goddess Gaia, I think people say Gaia too, uh, has for you right now. Perhaps you spent too much time in your head lately and have not taken as good care of yourself as you would have liked. Get into a rhythm, make sure you get enough sleep, commit to spending more time in nature, and eat sustainably with conscious awareness. Gaia, the earth, mother of all life, invites you to pay attention to your body, for you are a creature of the earth as well as spirit. Okay. Then it goes to talk about foundations. Okay, you are part of this living earth, which is the foundation for all of life that has a physical form. What form does your life take? Is it the perfect time to take a closer look to ensure you're happy in it? Refocus, reevaluate, regroup. Okay, this is you looking at your life. This is some shadow work that's going down, right? You're going to look hard at your life. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, you're also asked to examine the foundation of what you are building now. Does it feel solid and stable? Now is the perfect time to focus on stability of there's focus and security, ensuring you move forward in a grounded way. The goddess Gaia reminds you that the earth is the playground for your conscious manifestation. So be respectful of this truth. So, and we're about to get to Imbolc, spring. So this is the beginning, and then we have Ostera, which is okay. Spring is here. Boom. We are at a turning point here, where we can take this time to use the element of fire or work with the element of fire. Okay, whether you want to use a candle, you want to work with Goddess Brigid to help illuminate our path. All right. And now some of you may be thinking, but Tia, you talked about Goddess Hecate and the crossroads, and she bears her torches and she helps us along our paths. Yes, there are many goddesses that can help you in many ways, but each goddess also has her time, right? And today is Bridget's day, and she's very particular about how she helps people and who she helps. So actually, she has more of an open arms, but at least from my experience with working with people, and to tap into the energy of now, this fiery, which can also again be water and air. This can be your trifecta of how you approach the next, say, like 90 days. All right, I'm throwing a number out there because 90's been popping up. I kept hearing 90, 90 days, 90 days, 90 days. So you can choose to go through the phases. You can do research on the element of air. What's that associated with? Intellect, wisdom, what's the color? Blue. You can do all that, right? You can move on to water. Same thing. Excuse me, not water. Yes, water. And then again, fire. Look up these elements. What are correspondences? How does Bridget fall in? Well, how would you like her to play a role? How can you communicate that to her? This is why I leave certain things open-ended in the way, because you make this, right? It's your choice how you want to deal with this. You might say, I don't want to deal with the water element or the air. I just want to deal with straight fire. I want to have a conversation with Goddess Bridget. See what happens. Okay. Or maybe you're a little bit hesitant, like, I don't know if I'm ready to deal with the goddess just yet, but I can light a candle and meditate. Okay. Everyone has to start somewhere. That's fine. Okay. I want you to understand that this can be as flexible as you want it to be. It can be as intricate as you want it to be or not. The main thing here is to read, do the research again. You can read a lot and you'll still uncover something years later because multiple books been published. Some are in different languages and they had to be translated. And sometimes that happens a year or two later, right? And you receive it and you learn another thing. Okay. So the best you can do is continue the research and education. Okay. And then connect. But it's what you make it. You can wear something red, orange, yellow, and you can make a full scale ritual out of it and invite Goddess Bridget. Okay? I'll leave you with that. Now let's move on to Imbolc. Now I am pretty happy that we are at this point because Imbolc, also known as Candlemas, as I said earlier, is informing us that spring is on its way. And this is great because while I have grown to have an appreciation for winter, I am ready to move forward. Uh, the winter provided a great time as its purpose of reflection, of slowing down, of peace, of certain things dying, okay, and a chance for rebirth. And the same thing when we hit spring. There's new beginnings, everything's new and fresh, but we also know with the beginning, there's an end. With the end, there's a beginning. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. And the more we are acclimated to the cycles and understand these cycles, the better off we'll be. So before, when I used to look at winter as this cold, dark, dreary, annoying season, I've grown to walking in the snow while drinking my latte, alone with my thoughts. The snow is falling. It's just such a beautiful, peaceful time. And then every so often, I'll get like a cool breeze gliding against my face. It's very cool. It almost feels crystal like it's a different type of cool, crystal clear, clean type of air in the winter. It's just something different about it. And people are walking their dogs, and I say hi to the dog, and sometimes I say hi to the human. Dog lovers know what I'm talking about. You talk to the dog first, and maybe you acknowledge the human. But it's just such a peaceful time. And and being with your thoughts are very important. So now here we are, spring, at least the beginning, just like when we have our multiple harvests, we have the first harvest, second harvest, sowing. Um, this is a time where we are going to be preparing for new beginnings. Similar to what I was saying earlier, this is the slow down before we speed up. Okay. So let's get into the history, the symbols, the magic, and all that jazz. All right. And I will post the links of, like I said, my research, just like I did with Bridget. All right. So this is from learnreligions.com, and they have their key takeaways section. Let's start there. Imbolc gets its name from the Irish Gaelic, I don't know how to pronounce this word, Oimelc, which translates into ewe's milk, Ewes. Interesting. This Sabbath, which falls on February the 2nd, but again, I've seen other sources state between the 1st and the 2nd. I've seen one source state just the 1st. I believe, and again, I have to do a deeper uh, research into that, but I believe it's similar to when the full moon happens, but then you're in a different time zone. So it's like the next day really for you, and it's the day before for us. I just recently learned that about the full moon. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But anyway, so which falls on February 2nd is often celebrated of the goddess Brigid, who appears as Saint Bridget in the Christian faith. Other celebrations that fall around this time, including Roman Lupercalia. I will be talking about that Easter egg there for you. Egypt's feast of, I believe it's pronounced Nut, that goddess. I think is the way it's pronounced. And Candlemas, the feast of the purification of the Virgin. All right. Okay, so Here's where Candlemas is different from Imbolc. Again, this is something that I think is important because it might pop up. But again, this is for you to dive deeper into. So, when Ireland converted to Christianity, it was hard to convince the people to get rid of their old gods, so the church allowed them to worship the goddess Brigid as a saint, thus the creation of Saint Bridget's Day. Today, there are many churches around the world which bear her name. Saint Bridget of Kildare is one of Ireland's patron saints, and she is associated with an early Christian nun. Although historians are divided on whether or not she was a real person, February the 2nd continues to be celebrated as Candlemas, the Feast of Purification, for many Christians. Okay, so there you have it. In case someone's like, hey, but what about this Candlemas? What's that about? There you go. All right. And then this page goes to talk about how February is known as the month when love begins anew and part of widespread celebrations. All right. And the Serpent Association. All right. Goddess Bridget Association. Again, this link will be in the description. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background, okay, for this. So that we have an idea. All right. Is really to celebrate fertility and the beginning of spring. And again, there are some takeaways. I don't know what ooze milk is. I'm kind of interested now in that. Okay. And here's another little cool factor here. Let me go back up. All right. In some parts of Europe, there was belief that February 14th was the day that birds and animals began their annual hunt for a mate. Valentine's Day is named for the Christian priest who defied Emperor Claudius' second edict banning young soldiers from marrying. In secret, Valentine tied the knot. There's that saying, oh, you're going to tie the knot? For many young couples. Eventually, he was captured and executed on February the 14th, 269, I guess before Common Era, because he just had the CE. I'm used to seeing BCE, but I guess this is Common Era then, because B would be 4. So, excuse me, February 14th to 269, Common Era. Before his death, he smuggled a message to a girl he had befriended while imprisoning the first Valentine's Day card. Okay. There you have it. Okay. So here's the Groundhog Day, because I think I mentioned this earlier because I had to re-record the beginning. So if I didn't mention Groundhog Day earlier in this episode, I don't even remember at this time because, like I said, I had to re-record. I mentioned about, in case I didn't mention it earlier, Groundhog Day. I talked about how a lot of people or holidays that couldn't get rid of other holidays were put next to it as a way to try and wean them out a little bit, or they just got different named or named differently. So here it states, although Imbolc isn't even mentioned in the non-Gaelic Celtic traditions, it's an all-time rich in folklore. It's still a time-rich folklore, and according to this website, an early version of Groundhog Day on Imbolc was also celebrated. So you can start to see that the early version of Groundhog Day was on Imbolc. So again, you're seeing how days that couldn't get or excuse me, holidays that couldn't get removed are being adopted in different ways. All right, repurposed and stuff. So that's enough of the history. Just some little facts. Just little origins of Valentine's Day. So if someone wants to tell you, oh, it's commercialized, you can literally say, no, it's not. The candy makers, the candy companies did not invent Valentine's Day. Okay. All right. It's only commercialized if you allow it to be. Love your person every day. All right. And now let's continue on a little bit with this. Where are we at here? Let me check my notes. Let's see, where are we at? All right, symbols. So we covered history. Let's talk a little bit about the symbols. I mentioned the serpent, uh, the representative of Imbolc, Goddess Bridget. All right, let's go a little bit deeper. All right, so these symbols are important because, this is really a time to let go of the past and look into the future. All right, this is where we begin to clear out the old, right? Whatever's left over that didn't really die out in the winter season. So we're really making space for new beginnings. Like I said, this is the beginning, and then Austera comes along, and that's really the signal that spring is here. All right, so spring cleaning really began as just that, making way for the new. So when you think about it, what you think about what you choose to use for spring cleaning. That could be your personal symbol. I want to bring that into this. What are some of your personal symbols for spring? Okay, because like I said, we have fire, we have the sun, we have um Bridget symbols, the Bridget Cross. You've seen this before, you can Google it. So it's not your, I don't want to say traditional because it's not, but it's not the cross that you typically see, but you can Google it, you'll see what I mean. So it has, actually, I don't really know how to explain it to you. Honestly, you have to just really Google Bridget's Cross. Okay, and it states here is traditionally made from reeds, but can be made from several alternatives that are pliable. So you just need to be able to bend it. That's the thing, because you're going to be making it. And there's actually a graph to show you how to make the Bridget's Cross. So Bridget's Cross is one example of a symbol. Now, another symbol, this is something that you'll make. You could bake a cake. Okay. And so it states here, uh, to tie it with silver or white or green or any combination of ribbon, the C's that is. And it states here, simple seed cake. So this is interesting. I'm wondering if you put the ribbons in there, similar to other holidays where you will put like a ring in the bread. You would slice the bread and see who got what, and they would predict uh, what would happen during that season for them. So I'm wondering if that's something like that. Okay, and then it has here like candles, um, the snowdrop, the first gift of spring with the bleakness of winter. It snowed here in Philadelphia and other areas. The swan, like I said, the flame, because Imbolc is a fire festival. So of course the flame is a big deal. Fire is a big deal. They have here Bridget doll. A very old tradition involved the making of a Bridget doll, which can be included in a ceremony or placed in a bride's bid to bring fertility and good fortune to the home. I don't know if I want a doll in my bed. Actually, I know I don't want a doll in my bed, but I wouldn't mind the Bridget's Cross or a statue of a swan. Okay, because the swan mates for life and represents loyalty, fidelity, and faithfulness. Okay, so you can have swan feathers as an amulet. There's so many things you could do with that. The serpent I mentioned before, now is waking up. All right. And they are associated with creativity and inspiration, that Kundalini energy. All right. And when you think about it, you know, snakes shed their skin, right? We are coming out of winter season, entering spring. We're shedding the old. Okay. Um, Herbs, blackberry, coltsfoot, ginger. I'm familiar with ginger and blackberry. I don't know Colt's foot. I never heard of that. But you can use blackberry in your drink for drinks, pie, ginger. I like ginger. I only eat like a little bit of it because it has that kind of acquired taste to it. All right. So we have that again. Let me see. For herbs, ginger, coltsfoot, blackberry. The remaining symbols, the colors, of course, white, silver, you know, flame colors, green. Sheep is another symbol. All right, with the ooze. Okay, eat ooze milk cheese. Okay, so I guess sheep's milk is called ooze milk. Why not sheep? I don't know, but that's something I got to do research on, and then I'm discovering that. The serpent, Bridget Dow, Bridget Cross, the flame, the swan, the snowdrop, candles, light a candle. All right. So many things you can do. Bake a cake, like with almost any holiday, bake a cake. All right. So many things you could do. I will add the link to this in the description of this episode. Okay. So you can, again, have further reading. All right. Let's get to the card reading. And then we'll wrap it up. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, it's the magic of Imbolc and then the card reading. So let's see here. Actually, you know what? Let's do the card reading and then we'll get to the magic and what you can do. And I'm still going to use the Goddess card deck. Whew. All right, I picked these cards and then the one card, not the one card, the whole deck just slipped off the desk and fell all on the floor, guys. This is some behind the scenes stuff right here. All right, I actually pulled 3 cards. And I am going to make this. Oh, look, Bridget popped up. Ooh. Okay, so the first card that popped up, and I do not know how to pronounce this, is Nin Mosine. I don't think you pronounce the M. Mnemosyn. The past. And also it looks like, I know it's not, but it looks like the root chakra is being represented here. It's just some kind of pattern that just made me think root chakra, root chakra. And also the colors here are like a red velvet color, which is the colors of the air chakra, aka clairaudient. You can clearly hear. So what I'm getting from this card is that this is the time. Oh, and this goddess also has something over her third eye, and her eyes are white. So she's like really tuned in, seeing something. This is the time where you will look at your past, but also this is where you finally leave your past in the past. You will be able to talk about certain situations without getting too emotional about it. And in other cases, you'll be able to remove all emotion. Like now, this is it. You're done. You're really moving on. All right. So I'm going to talk about the cards, what I get from the cards, and then we'll dive into what's stated in the book. Next is Bridget. Bridget is here, Creative Spark. And I love this because initially I was going to pull 2 cards. This was the second card. And then I got the notion to pull a third card. So I see why this happened. So Creative Spark, and it's Bridget. She's looking up. She looks happy. She has some markings on her face, and it almost looks like she has wings, like a kind of fairy wing or something going on back there. And the more I look at this card, the more I'm seeing. But basically, what I'm getting is a lot of green in here, some red, of course. What I'm getting from the oh wow, I just see the goddess symbol too. The 3 spiral. Wow. Yeah, the more I look at this, the more I'm getting. This card is saying that, whoa, I just got like this whole drop feeling. So when you finally drop your past and leave it there, And I'm not saying that you're forgetting what happened. What I'm saying is you're not reliving the past in your mind over and over and over again. You're not making references to the past over and over again, like a situation that wasn't good for you, um, a situation like, and it doesn't have to be a terrible, bad, horrible, no good situation. It could just be something that's a dead end. Like it's just you're done. That's it. Okay. So this is a combination of things like bad things that you're leaving in the past and also things that are just you're done. We've come to um, a conclusion here, a dead end, and I'm done. So because you are doing that and you will have completed that, your creativity, you are going to shine through so brightly that people are going to be like, I need sunglasses around you, that people can see your light from I was going to say the Hubble telescope. I think it's another telescope now, showing my age, but they can see you from outer space, basically, is what I'm saying. So let your creative spark flag fly. Say that several times fast. Let your creative spark flag fly. Okay. I don't care what it is. You know, it may seem really scary and not the way for you, but I think about my friends on Instagram who are pole dancers, and it isn't always pretty for them because they get hate in their DM sometimes, but they don't let that stop them because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I tell you what, there are a whole lot of people that love it, and that help them with their empowerment and loving their body and being more flexible and also, strengthening your core. I mean, have you seen the abs of some of these pole dancers? I mean, so, it really helps a lot of people who do it. So, when you are out there expressing your creativity, like really being expressive, putting yourself out there, make sure you have thick skin. Okay, it doesn't mean to put all your defensive walls up and say, screw the world. It just means that when it happens, because it's going to happen, someone's not going to like something that you do, you have the nerve, the wits, the grounding to either not entertain that person or to correct that person or to educate that person. But the point is, you need to be able to be expressive, and Bridget is here to light the way or to even, like burn things down. Like that's the old way of thinking. Let's get rid of the last bit of debris. All right. So, connect with Bridget for that. And then last we had the green Tara or Tara, depending on how you pronounce your A's. And green is also a prominent color with her, as is gold. And she has like a nice crown, form of a crown, with pearls and everything. It's beautiful. And this is salvation. And what I'm getting from this card is your creative spark, you letting go, that's your salvation. You are going to be such a transformative person, like with Carradine, staring at that cauldron. You are going to be such a magical force, and you almost won't believe it yourself because it's just like, wait a minute, who was I a couple months ago? Well, this is your salvation. All right, let's just quickly go to the book and then we're going to wrap it up because I felt like I've been talking for a very long time. But it's a lot of information. I want to make sure you get it. All right, so the first card, the past. There are certain moments within your personal history that hold great treasure for you now. When you examine your memories, which are the domain of the Greek goddess, sorry, I know I'm butchering her name, uh, Mnemosyne, empowered wisdom is revealed. The lessons you find are like sacred talismans contained within your past, like fossils in amber. Right now, you can trust your instincts that if something brings to mind your past, it is indeed a kernel of the old in the new. This is an amazing opportunity to make informed decisions and you can do those differently. The other powerful message, there are many choice points in life where you have the power to make beautiful changes and become more creative, hence the creative spark card. Empowered and alive. Yes, sometimes memories that live in the cells of our bodies will trigger palatable fear, but you cannot move beyond your past to discover new territories. Excuse me, but you can move beyond your past to discover new territories, and new visions of freedom will come to you. You won't see the past the same anymore as wisdom replace numb acceptance. The memories will change because you've changed. Freedom is gained. Oh, there goes that salvation. Freedom. This freedom is gained by willingness and curiosity. Relationships become rich with potential, and all your natural choices will no longer fall into old patterns that are not serving you. Expect this miracle. So, again, I mean, I don't, this is crazy. Listen to divine guidance. Like I said, the colors here are red and violet. Those are the color. That's what's calling out to me. Your air chakra. Okay. All right. Let's go to the Bridget card. All right. So this states in the book. Could turn the page here. Inspiration and imagination are yours to play with right now. You effortlessly connect to your inner creative spark and make meaningful and beautiful experiences with yourself and others. Take advantage of this fruitful time when you are so in tune. It's like taking a magical trip to the land of the fairy. Oh, okay. Well, that makes even more sense because, like I said earlier, it look like she has some fairy wings. Where all that glitters really is gold, and your life seems like a grand artistic gesture. The fiery Celtic goddess of creativity calls you to play in the artistry of your life, your work, and your loves. Bridget is whispering her sparkling music deep in your soul. Are you listening? There's that clear audience. All right. Last but not least, the green Tara. I'm curious to see what this has to say here. This is going to be good. Especially since this is the salvation card. The divine has intended you to into being and given you the assignment to explore life through certain perceived limitations. You are meant to learn about life in all its complexities, especially learning about how to be in community with others. Green Tara, a Tibetan goddess, also known as she who saves, says that you will never be alone in life's journey. This compassionate savior goddess of intimate friendship will ensure that the right people will show up for you at the right time. Green Tara reminds you that your needs will always be met. You don't need to know the how, as that is her domain. You just need to trust. And the goddess Green Tara will use her magic on your behalf. You are safe and secure and always in the care of the divine. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Oh my God, as I'm saying that, this card, one of the cards that fell and I put back in the box is facing up. The Benzai, is that a G? Gen? The card is beauty. I can't even deal, guys. Wow, I can't. Okay, so moving right along. Let's wrap this up. All right. So let me check my notes here. All right, the magic of Imbolc. We pretty much covered that. You get it. It's the beginning of newness, spring, fertility. That's the magic. So also, if you're thinking, well, I don't want to have kids, Tia, this is also the time to bring into being that idea you had. Okay. Did you want to move to another city? Did you want to write a book? Did you want to lose weight, meet the love of your life? Like, what can you bring into being? What can you give birth to? Right? So if it's, oh, I want to find the love of my life, well, you're going to begin with yourself. How are you treating yourself? How do you talk to yourself? Um, how are you matching what you want to attract, right? So now what you're going to do is you are going to work on birthing the new you. So you're going to be fertile in that area of nurturing yourself, okay? Allowing yourself to grow, doing the shadow work, all that. All right, so look at it as that way too. All right, so we get the magic. Let's move on to what you can do. Okay, now I mentioned it earlier. Candle Magic's one. And I want to also say, remember, you are the magic. So if you don't have a candle, you don't have some of these things, you can't get a Bridget Cross, go back to the basics. Connection. Okay. It's just like when you have a best friend and let's say you got to start over in life, right? Your best friend is no longer going to talk to you, right? Because you're starting over, you're going back to square one. No, they're going to be there with you. They're going to help you, work with you, right? So just keep that in mind as you're doing this and working with this is that your best friend loves you. So whether or not you got the big home, the fancy car, the nice clothes, it's you, right? So when you are reading up on this stuff, you're like, oh, I can't get that from my altar. Oh man, that's I can't. All you need is you, right? You can get access to free Wi-Fi and click links and read up on it if you can't get the book. If you're not close to a library, there's so many ways to do it. Now, yeah, you can go to like a dollar store or something like that and get birthday candles, right? In different colors. So there are different ways to go about it. You don't have to get the $15 or whatever fancy smancy candle. But again, it depends on what you want to do. You can, it's up to you. All right. What you can do. So we're at rituals, ceremonies, all that jazz. And I will link this in the description as well. You can set up an altar. All right. You can decorate it with the Bridget's cross. You can have a statue of Bridget. You can get red candles or whatever color is sticking out for you. You can do that. You can have flowers on your altar, anything that makes you think of spring, it's just the sun, fire, okay, or anything from the reading I said today. Prayers, Imbolc prayers. I have the ebook, the Pagan Book of Prayers. You can just, pick a section. Okay, you can Google Imbolc prayers, a ritual for Bridget. All right, and there are many, many things you can find online regarding that. And then they have here is things you can do with your family. You can have the end of winter meditation. So you can thank the winter. Show it gratitude. Like thank you, winter. I'm thankful that I got through winter. I'm thankful for what I was able to let go during winter. Just be thankful. I'm sure you could come up with some things. Of course, clean your house, spring cleaning. That may not be fun. All right. Here are some of the things I would do. All right. I would cast a circle and I would probably have a candle and probably have some incense or something burning, something like that. And I would invite Goddess Bridget into my circle and we would have a conversation or she'll give me a vision or something like that. That's what I would do. I would keep it really simple. Guys, you really, it's fun to go the longer route. I've done a 3-day spell before. I mean, like really intense. I've done that, and it's fun and it's good to have that range. But I know a lot of people are dealing with a lot during this time, and it's easy to get overwhelmed during this time. So I want to keep it as simple as possible and leave it a little bit open-ended, and that's really my style anyway, because I love options. I don't like people telling me what to do or telling me that this is the only way. It's not. I there hasn't been a time where I found that this way was ever the only way. But I also am an advocate of allowing you to create your own journey. You know, it reminds me of back in the day, the Goosebumps book. You make a choice, you go to page 47 or you go to page 52. But then I would hold my finger on the previous page just in case I don't like the ending and go back and pick the other page. But you get what I'm saying. It's create your own journey. It's almost like so there are rules and they're more like guidelines. Okay. So but it's almost like there are no rules, but they are or there are guidelines. For example, yes, you definitely want to know uh the symbols and all that jazz of the different goddesses. Why? Because you want to know who you're talking to or communicating with, number one. Number two, it is disrespectful when you don't do the research and then you're asking this deity who is not human to help you or do something for you, but yet you can't even take the time to do some research on that person. How would you feel if someone came to you out the blue and like, hey, Jennifer, yes, so I got this meeting coming up. Um, I don't want to go. So can you stop it? Or hey, I like this guy. I don't know if he likes me. We've been quarantining, dating. Um, can you speed things up? Like, how would you feel if someone just approached you out of blue and just like asked you for stuff? You would think, no. And you didn't even take time to figure out really who I am or anything about me. Like, no. All right. So that's really it, is to do the research. I'm stressing this because I don't want to say it's a trend, but I'm starting to see it more and more where some people don't want to do the research. They want people to tell them, but it's that journey of gaining the research that will help you to connect, that will help you learn, that will tell you what you like and don't like. You may say, Tia, I don't do candle magic. I tried it once. It was stupid. I sat there and I was looking at a flame and not like that's not me. Cool. My answer would be cool. It's not for everybody. Right. So that'd be something I do. Keep it simple. I didn't do anything for the full moon that passed besides go and look at it briefly outside. I didn't collect any moon water. Did it? I think it rained a little bit. I didn't charge any crystals under the full moon. I didn't do any of that because you don't have to do it every full moon. You don't. You just don't. Okay. Now, will I uh do something like have a petition and then burn it? Maybe. I like doing that. I'm not a big fan of having a bunch of jars in my household. I don't like it. I much rather burn a piece of paper because then it won't take up much space in my home. But that's another thing I probably do is to write something on a piece of paper, burn it, think about it, pay attention to the smoke, pay attention to the fire, pay attention to the ashes, look at all that. And then I'll probably wrap it up by watching something witchy, or something like that. I like ending magic work by watching something spiritual, magical, witchy, something like that. It just really is like an even tone, cool down, if you will, for that. So again, I keep it simple. I've been doing this for a long time. And again, it could be as simple or as intricate as you like. Make sure you do the research. Make sure you are familiar with Goddess Bridget. Make sure you're being honest with yourself and what you want to do. You don't have to impress anyone. Okay. And if you do a ritual and you feel like you didn't connect with Goddess Bridget, just hang tight, keep connecting. Okay, sometimes these entities need to get a better feel for you. Okay, and maybe she'll come later. You never know. So that's what I have for you. This was a lengthy podcast episode, but I really hope this is a good one. Because, like I said, this is an educational one. You got a little bit of the history, a little bit of random facts, but hey, you never know when a random fact may be a $10,000 question. I used to go to trivia night years ago, every Thursday, and I won what size was that? It was homemade beer from people in Philly know this, the Manioc Brewery, and it was like a gallon or jug. It was this big jug of beer that I won, and then I won it. Well, my team won it, but someone had won the beer, took the beer home last time, so this time it was my turn to take home the beer, and then we won gift cards. It was crazy. Sometimes it's down to a random fact, right? You just, like the bonus round, a lightning round, or something like that. You never know. You know how Valentine's Day got started. You learned different things, okay? Different sayings, different things. And who knows? You might say, hey, I heard it on Tia's podcast. I know the answer. And now you're the hero. All right. I am sending you so many blessings. I love you guys. I am rooting for you. Remember to be kind to yourself. Check out the previous episodes. I have I'm not even going to tell you the next episode. I'm just going to let you find out. All right. Until next time. Oh, I don't know if I said it, but remember to be kind to yourself. As always, Spiritual Trailblazer, thank you for tuning in. Do make sure to stop by and visit me at tiamariejohnson.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Last but not least, be kind to yourself. I'm rooting for you, and I'm sending you so many blessings. Until next time.